Hey guys, it's Maddie back again with another walk around video. So what we're going to talk about today is my trailer setup. This is just some images from my setup last couple of weeks ago down south. I like to keep it very simple, but let's step through. First thing is my cooking setup. Very basic. I've just got the gas cooker with the pan, a pot for boiling water, and then my quick coffee setup. So if I can't be bothered setting up the whole cooker, that's also my hiking cooker as well, the 360 burner. And the pot is just from Kmart. My Zerali table, and of course, dog and gun mug for good measure. This is just a quick clip of me using the cooking setup. Here's my GSI kit. It's got all the utensils you could need for 4 people. Spoon, spatula, etc. That's the brand of the trailer. And a bit of a look at the back setup. Here we've got where the 12 volt setup is to charge the fridge. As you can see, charging the fridge right there. And just a whole look at the rear setup, similar to how I would have it for my camping set. The top drawer in the camper is pretty shallow. It's just got some tea light candles, honey, rubbish bags, and oil. Oh, and my Mozzie burner, which I showed before. This is a deeper dish drawer. This is where I keep my sink and stuff. Here's my little secret compartment where the circuit breaker is for the aircon, and I store spare gas bottles, foil, Glad wrap, all that sort of stuff. Tea towel holder. Up the top is where I keep all the plates, cups, and some of my dog and gun coffee. And of course, the Insta sticker. Another quick view of the rear setup. You can see my Thermacell there, which is my Mozzie burner. And my sticker wall. Need to add heaps more, but that's the water tank underneath. This is where the water pump starts from. And this is my cold shower / washing bay. And what it's hooked onto is where I fill the water tank up, which is key locked, which is great. So no one can put nasty things down there. So my doors have both options, glass and the fly screen, which is really handy, and it just clips in like that. Moving inside now. This is the bedroom or bed portion of it. There you can see my charger, 12 volt setup with the Nomad PDU adapter. It's got a laptop charger and a USB plug for my phone in it. Aircon works amazing. Could not have a trailer in North Queensland and not have aircon. It also does have a heat setting as well if you are down south and would rather be warm than cold. But yeah, nice and cold. Turn that right down. And obviously I'm not going to have this stuff set up like this while I'm driving, but it's just for aesthetic. On both sides of the trailer I have external lighting. I will upgrade and get some curtains for the windows and doors, but for now I just have these. Old school rotation to open the window, a little key holder. Now inside the cupboard in the cabin, enough space for heaps of stuff. I've just got towels, baby wipes, and a spare blanket. Bit of a closer look at the power setup. Super handy. Easily sleeps 2 people inside very comfortably. The only difference being in a bed you don't have walls. In a camper you've obviously got walls, so it might seem a little bit claustrophobic, but it's pretty comfortable. Next is electric brakes at the front and just a standard setup. I've got the larger toolbox, which is set up for the 250 watt solar panel. That's just all my outdoor gear, chairs, fan, spare tent and such. And a good look at the aircon on the roof. It takes up a fair amount of space, but it's worth it. Now the inlet for the power is just down here on the opposite side. And I just went into Rotec Marine and got the amphibian adapter for the 15 amp to 10 amp. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to answer some of the questions that I got that I haven't answered just yet in the video. So weights were a big question. Its tire weight is 480 kilos. Once I've got all my stuff in it, which is not that much, and the water, it's sitting closer to about 550 kilos. Its ball weight is 68 kilos. So yeah, not super heavy. I did decide to go electric brakes for the car though, which was a pretty easy choice, and the trailer company have their own brand that they use and fit to the trailer. Super easy. It comes with a little remote, and they also have an app. So yeah, if you do get a trailer, let me know and I can walk you through the setup, but it's super simple. The water pump, which I did show a quick video of, is an electric self-priming pump. So obviously the little flick the switch, and then it's like a cold shower sort of setup. Eventually I will look to get a shower awning on the side where the sink was, but for right now it's perfect for what I need. The size of the water tank underneath the trailer is 65 litres, which is a lot. Another thing that people wanted to know was why I chose a trailer setup over like a rooftop tent. My biggest thing with the Jimny is that its roof capacity is not that much. So how I have my roof set up now is overweight. Therefore, I don't particularly want to go putting a rooftop tent on the roof and risking the integrity of the car. So yeah, I've also had both shoulders reconstructed, so having to set up heaps of stuff gets really fatiguing, especially after a whole day of four-wheel driving. So I just skipped the part where you get a rooftop tent and have a really elaborate setup that takes you ages. I just wanted to be able to pull into a camp, literally open the back door, kitchen's pretty much set up, bed's already made, like pull into camp and literally go to bed if I want to, sort of thing. So that was one of the big reasons. It's not for everybody. It's a much more expensive way of traveling. However, it's the thing that I wanted to do. It was, I wouldn't say like super expensive. It's to get the trailer made, it cost me about $24,000. Then you have to take into account shipping it. So to get it shipped to Townsville was pretty expensive, but I think it's worth it for what I want to do now. I have done a few crazy things in the car. I want to try and settle down and sort of travel a bit more. And I want the capacity to literally just be like, okay, I want to go to Airlie Beach for the weekend. I don't have to worry about booking accommodation. I can literally just hook the trailer up, find a truck stop, and I'm like set up, good to go. So yeah, that was kind of why I picked a trailer. Another few questions was, what would I change before the next trip? Right now, nothing really. I think the biggest thing is just sort of like finding stuff kind of as I go. I was very lucky. The car, like all the camping stuff that I had for the car or my hiking stuff works perfectly for a micro camper or a teardrop trailer. So I've been pretty lucky on that part. Like, for example, this like sleeping bag. I've had this sleeping bag for like 8 years or something like that. I haven't used it at all since I moved up to Townsville. I was considering getting rid of it at one point a couple of years ago, and luckily I kept it because it fits perfectly. It's a single sleeping bag but unzipped. It's pretty much like a double blanket. So yeah, I've been able to sort of like cross-pollinate what I had already for the car or my hiking stuff to then sort of set this up, which has saved a lot of money because I pretty much had everything already. And yeah, it's just meant that the Zook has a little bit more free space. It's a little bit more capable off-road because it's not as heavy. So for example, you know, I'll pull into camp and unhitch the trailer, obviously lock it, and then be able to go four-wheel driving and not have to take all this stuff out of the car to set it up. So yeah, that was my biggest selling point with the trailer. Another thing with the car, when I'm traveling or like driving with the trailer, I will have the fridge in the car purely just so I can pull into like Coles or Woolies and put my stuff in the car. That way also the fridge isn't draining the AGM battery in the trailer. It's hooked up to the Nomad PDU that's in the car. So I still have the dual battery set up, like the lithium set up in the car, which I find super beneficial as well because that charges while I'm driving, like my laptop, phone, GoPro, my DJI thing, wherever that is. You know, the little gimbal thing that I have for the phone. So still beneficial to keep that sort of stuff. And then yeah, in the future I will look to upgrade the AGM that's in the trailer to a lithium, but it works for right now, so no point changing what works. And eventually I will put the 270 awning on the trailer. Right now can't really be bothered, and I actually think that parking the car next to the trailer and then having the 270 awning going over one of the doors might actually work a little bit better rather than having it on the trailer. But yeah, I will see how that goes. The power setup is a 100 amp hour AGM battery in the front toolbox, and then the 250 watt flexible solar panel on the top on the roof. Unfortunately, the aircon doesn't run off the battery power, but that's fine. Typically the camping and stuff that I'll be doing in the trailer will be going to paid campsites with power. And if I really wanted to go off grid, Dad's got a Jimny that I could borrow until I can afford to buy my own. But yeah, it's pretty good. The power or the battery and solar charges everything else. So like all my internal lighting, all the 12 volt stuff, and the pump for the water. So that's pretty much all I need really for that. The aircon I did show a close up. The brand is Horton. If you have genuine interest in it, just hit up Google. That's your best friend. I don't know all the stats and facts and everything like that, but yeah, it works perfectly. I did learn on my first camp that the circuit breaker, if it gets tripped, or I didn't trip it, I turned it off. So if you turn it off, the aircon doesn't work. Learned that the hard way. What else? Oh, towing. Towing was a big question. And fuel consumption. Towing in a Jimny, don't expect to go over 40 to 60 k's uphill. Most of the other times, like when it's flat or downhill, it's actually fine. You hardly even notice that the trailer's there. But it is definitely slow going uphill, which is to be expected. The Zooks are pretty slow going uphill as it is. But yeah, towing a trailer is very, very fatiguing on the engine, so you just have to be gentle. And as for fuel consumption, I've decided I don't really want to talk about fuel consumption in this video, purely because I haven't had it for very long, and I'm still testing the fuel consumption in the car, just day-to-day driving, so wait out for that information. I'll get back to you on fuel consumption. What else? There was a lot of questions about why I chose this camper. A few reasons. It was a New South Wales family owned and operated business, so that sold me. I felt like supporting a small family business for sure. And yeah, they just had that small business feel, very attentive, answered emails straight away, happy to entertain all the questions that I asked of them. So that was one of the big reasons why I chose to go with the Teardrop Camper Company. I also just really enjoyed the style and the setup of the trailer. I didn't really want anything that was like too crazily set up already. Like, I like to make things pretty specific or individual. I like to change things and, you know, paint stuff and whatever. Like, I've done a few different things with the car. So I like the idea that this was like super simple from the get-go, and then I sort of have that creative freedom to be able to just sort of make it how I want to make it. So yeah, in the future I'll definitely be changing a few things, but for right now it's perfect. And literally, like, the day that it arrived, I slept in it like 3 days in a row. So it came out of the box ready to go, just like the Zook was. You know, as soon as you pick up the Zook, it's a very capable car. So that was one of the big reasons why I picked this trailer. And then there was a few other questions about sleeping 2 people and doing the dirty. I'm not going to answer those questions on here. However, you can sleep 2 people in here. It's, like I said in the video, the only constricting factor is that there's walls. So you feel like it's a little bit more claustrophobic than what it actually is. But yeah, it's very comfortable for 2 people to sleep in.